The Legend of Jigong Chapter 3.
Jigong has already shown up at Zhao Wenhui's place and actually cured his mother, so he's got some credibility already.
He does. But the next patient is a little kid just 6 years old with a really bad fever that won't break. Jigong says, okay, I can help. But the tricky part isn't the medicine itself. It's the vehicle for the medicine.
Yeah, the delivery method.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets just out there. He needs tears. Okay, fine. But not just any tears.
Nope. Very specific tears. He needs them from 2 particular people.
Okay, lay it on us. Who are these people?
First, a man. He has to be exactly 52 years old. And not just that, he needs to have been born on the 5th day of the 5th lunar month.
Wow, okay. That's specific. The Dragon Boat Festival date, right? But matching the age and that exact date, what are the odds?
Pretty slim. And then the second person, a young woman, 19 years old. Her birthday needs to be the 8th day of the same month, the 5th lunar month.
So just 3 days after the man's required birthday. This feels less like medicine and more like some kind of cosmic lottery ticket request.
Exactly. And you can imagine the scene, right? The servants are just tearing through the household, checking everyone, guests, staff, family.
Total chaos. And the text emphasizes how frustrating it was. They'd find someone who was 52, but nope, wrong birthday. Or they'd find someone born on the 5th of the 5th, but they were, 30 or 70.
Completely hitting dead ends. It's clear Jigong isn't just asking for ingredients. He's forcing them to look harder, to look outside their usual circle.
And eventually they do. One servant, Zhao Liansheng, he's desperate, goes out the main gate. And who does he see just standing there?
A man. And when the servant asks, incredibly, he fits the bill perfectly. Dong Shihong from Qinteng, he's 52, born on the 5th day of the 5th month.
Bingo, first ingredient potentially sourced. But here's where it gets really, really interesting. They bring Dong Shihong inside. And when this old guy hears they're also looking for a 19-year-old woman born on the 8th of the 5th month, he just breaks down.
Yeah, the text says he's completely shattered emotionally. Because that exact description, age 19, born the 8th of the 5th, that's his daughter he lost track of years ago.
It's just, wow, the coincidence is staggering. Or maybe not a coincidence at all, right? Engineered by Jigong.
It seems very likely. And suddenly, the search for the woman gets a whole lot easier, or at least more focused. They know who they might be looking for.
And they find her. Jinyang. And where is she?
Working as a maid right next door, in the house of Zhao Wenhui's cousin. And yes, she's 19, born on the 8th day of the 5th month, the exact match.
So they bring her in, the moment is set, she sees Dong Shihong, he sees her.
Instant recognition, father and daughter reunited after years apart, and the tears start flowing. Real, heartfelt tears of shock and relief.
The medicine is collected, the drug vehicle is ready.
And Jigong, what does he do? He just throws his head back and laughs. A big, booming, satisfied laugh.
Yeah, and he says something like, see, 3 goals achieved in 1 move, everything is beautiful now. That's the key phrase. 3 goals. It tells you everything about his approach. Okay, so goal 1 is obvious, right? The kid needs curing.
Yep. And that happens instantly. They mix the actual medicine with this tear mixture, give it to the child, and boom, fever gone, recovered.
Okay. But what about the other 2 goals? What else did Jigong consider just as important as saving the child's life?
Well, goal 2 is something Jigong reveals right away. He says he'd actually met Dong Shihong before. The old man had lost all his money, was completely ruined, and was literally about to hang himself.
Wait, Jigong stopped him from committing suicide earlier.
That's what the text implies. He saved his life then, and now, with this whole tear-collecting drama, he's orchestrating the man's social and financial rescue, too.
So he's not just a healer. He's like a one-monk social services agency, using the illness as leverage.
Yeah.
Okay, what's goal 3?
Goal 3 is what we just saw, the reunion, healing that deep family wound, bringing father and daughter back together, a problem the wealthy family was totally unaware of, even though the solution, the daughter, was right next door.
It's kind of a critique of the rich family, isn't it? The answer to their problem, and this man's deep suffering, was literally on their doorstep the whole time, hidden in plain sight.
Absolutely. It forces them to confront the suffering that their wealth could easily alleviate but usually ignores.
And Zhao Wenhui, the host, he gets it. He's humbled. He gives Dong Shihong 100 taels of silver, which is a lot of money back then.
A huge sum. Enough to restart his life. And he sends him off with his daughter, Qingyang, even promising to buy his cousin a replacement maid. It's a full resolution.
And it's only then that someone confirms, yeah, this crazy monk, that's Jigong, the elder from Lingyan Temple. His reputation precedes him.
Exactly. Which leads perfectly into the next story. Su Shan, who saw this whole thing unfold, he's amazed, and he immediately begs Jigong, please come help my mother, she's terribly ill.
Right. But before Jigong leaves Zhao's house, there's this interesting moment. Zhao offers him money, 100 taels, for new clothes. I mean, the guy's dressed in rags.
He really is described as looking destitute. But Jigong, he refuses the silver, just turns it down flat.
Which is fascinating.
Yeah.
What kind of master doesn't need money? Especially when he looks like he does.
He refuses the cash, but not the chance to ask for something else. He pulls Zhao aside and says, basically, if you really want to thank me, do this and that for me. The text uses the phrase, like this, like this. Very secretive.
Okay, hang on to that thought. This and that. What could it be if not money? We'll come back to that. So, Jigong goes with Su Shan.
And Su explains the situation. His mother's really sick, and crucially, he tells Jigong, look, we've already had the best doctors.
Yeah, he specifically mentions a godly doctor, lifesaver Tang Wanfang, quite a name, and another one, a Mr. Li.
Right. And what did these top doctors say? Basically, nothing could be done. They diagnosed it as general weakness, qi and blood deficiency from old age. They'd given up hope.
So the stage is set perfectly. The expensive, established medical experts failed. Now it's up to the raggedy, eccentric monk.
The ultimate outsider. And the contrast is driven home the moment he walks into Su Shan's place, into the green bamboo pavilion. The servants there, the maids and the guys running errands.
And you just start laughing at him.
Openly mocking his torn, dirty robes. They can't believe this guy's supposed to succeed where the lifesaver doctor failed.
How does Jigong react?
With pure poetry. He basically tells them off, saying, don't laugh at the monk's broken robe. The original face true nature is nowhere to be found in this world.
Ooh, nice. A little wisdom drop. Telling them not to judge by appearances, that real value isn't material.
Exactly. Then he produces his medicine. It's described as this black pill, looks kind of like a betel nut, apparently has a very strong, unusual smell.
Sounds potent. Definitely not your standard herbal remedy.
And then comes the naming. This is classic Jigong. How do you give medicine to someone everyone expects to die? You lean into it.
What does he call it?
First, he calls it Yao Ming Dan, which literally means life-claiming pill.
Wait, life-claiming? Like, it's going to kill you. That's terrible marketing.
Huh. Right. But he quickly clarifies, no, I mean claiming life back from death. But still, it's provocative.
Definitely gets your attention. What was the other name?
Even more direct, almost darkly funny. Shen Tui Dingyan Wan, the stretch legs starize pill.
Okay, that's blunt. That's literally describing the moment of death.
It is. It's like he's saying, okay, you think you're dying, take this pill that represents death itself and confront it. It's psychological warfare, almost.
Shock therapy for the patient, maybe? And does it work?
Instantly.
Yeah.
Just like with the child, Su Shan's mother takes the pill and immediately she recovers. Sits up, feels better. Miracle cure number 2.
Incredible. Su Shan must have been floored.
Completely. He recognizes Jigong isn't just a doctor, he's a secluded master, a Chiwai Gren, someone beyond the ordinary world.
So he offers the usual stuff, right? Become your disciple. Let me buy you new clothes.
Yep. Offers discipleship, offers robes. And Jigong
refuses it all. Again.
Refuses it all. No interest in status, no interest in material comfort. But
it's another favor.
Exactly. He pulls Su Shan aside and says, look, if you want to show gratitude, just do this and that for me. Again, that secret request. Then he says he has to leave right away.
He won't even stay for dinner. Su invites him to stay indefinitely.
Nope. He's done what he came to do, set up his real intervention via the secret favor, and now he's off.
And his exit is as memorable as his entrance, right? He sings a song.
He does. A crazy song, a Kwango. And it's basically his final commentary on the world of wealth and power he just navigated.
What's the gist of the song?
It's about how fleeting power is. He specifically mentions the 5 marquises, which is like a classical shorthand for the highest levels of aristocracy.
So mocking the powerful.
Pointing out that their grand titles, their fancy houses, their status, it's all temporary. Like a dream, he says. It'll all fade away. Worldly affairs are like a seagull just floating on the water. Ephemeral.
It connects back to the illness, doesn't it? Just like health can vanish, so can power and wealth. What's the final message of the song?
It's a call for self-cultivation. He urges them to see past the illusions, the barrier of delusion, and focus on what really matters, which isn't worldly success. He's cured their bodies, but he leaves them with homework for their souls. Jigong is just sleeping up on the temple's great steel tower. the Da Beilu, but the air is thick, malice. Because the supervising monk, Guangliang, he's had enough. He's ready to get his revenge.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is pretty clear then. We need to figure out quickly how Jigong actually survives this plot against him. It sounds pretty nasty.
Oh, it is. You're fatal.
And then what's this ridiculous punishment he gets? And how does he react? Because knowing Jigong, it's probably not conventional.
Not at all. It really kicks off a whole campaign of, well, chaos. And you have to understand, Guangliang's hatred is what drives all this. Jigong's whole style, the drinking, the meat-eating, his sheer spiritual power, it just completely undermines Guangliang's authority.
The rigid, rule-following guy.
Exactly. So Guangliang sees Jigong as like a disruption to the whole system, and he wants him out, expelled.
Which leads him to arson.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yep. He gets his disciple, this guy Beking, to sneak up at night and set the Great Steel Tower on fire, where Jigong is sleeping.
Wow. Okay.
But, and this is classic Jigong, we immediately see his unconventional methods. The sources say there were actually 2 attempts.
2. What happens the first time?
The first time, Beking manages to light the fire, but Jigong just, well, puts it out by urinating on Beking's head from the tower.
No way.
Yes way. Imagine that. Spiritual shock and awe, I guess you could call it.
I guess so. Okay, but you said 2 attempts.
Right. The disciple, maybe after drying off, tries again. And the second time, it works. The tower goes up in flames. The text describes it vividly. Flames shot into the sky. Firelight blazed intensely.
And any other monks.
They rush out, trying to put out the fire. But honestly, most of them think Jigong's finished. They're muttering stuff like, he deserves this calamity. Pretty harsh.
Yeah, really shows the temple politics at play.
Mm-hmm.
But Jigong survives.
Oh, yeah. And how he just strolls out of the main grand hall, the Da Sheng Bibian, laughing, completely unfazed.
Laughing, while his shelter burns down.
And he says something really profound. He says, if people wish one dead, they can't make it happen. How hard is it for heaven to make one die? It's like, you can burn my bed, but you can't touch me. He's showing he's spiritually untouchable, even if he's politically weak right now.
Politically weak is right.
Yeah.
Because even though he survived, he still has to face the music, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Guangliang jumps on this immediately. It's the perfect excuse. He goes straight to the old abbot and says Jigong broke the pure rules, the Qinggui.
How? By getting attacked?
No. Guangliang claims Jigong left a lamp lit all night, and that's what started the fire. A total setup, obviously.
Right, a flimsy pretext.
Yeah.
And what does he demand?
The ultimate punishment. Jigong must be stripped of his robes and bowl, that's the Zhang Yubuj Jie, and kicked out of the monastery for good.
Wait, does the old abbot actually buy that? Given Guangliang's obvious motive and, the attempted murder aspect?
It's complicated, isn't it? The abbot isn't stupid. He knows what's likely going on, but he has to keep the peace, maintain order, temple politics, trumping justice, like you said.
So what does he do?
He does this very clever thing. He calls the fire heaven's will, basically acknowledges Jigong is protected, but also avoids blaming anyone directly. It's a compromise.
Okay, so Jigong isn't expelled.
Not expelled, but
Uh-oh.
he has to atone. He has to take responsibility for rebuilding the tower he supposedly burned down.
Ah, the impossible task. How much are we talking?
10,000 taels of silver, yuan ling yinzi.
10,000. That's something.
It's an astronomical sum. Seriously, you can't overstate it. This isn't a fine. It's setting him up to fail. Guangliang is certain Jigong can never raise that much. It's basically a delayed expulsion sentence.
It's political maneuvering disguised as a building project.
Precisely. And the way they argue about the deadline just proves it. Guangliang wants him to fail fast.
Right, the negotiation. Tell us about that. It sounds almost comical.
It really is. Guangliang starts off suggesting 3 years. Jigong just waves it off. Too long.
Okay.
Then Guangliang says, okay, 1 year. Still too long for Jigong. Then half a year. Nope. 1 month.
Guangliang's getting desperate here. Why not just give him 3 years and let him fail eventually?
Because Guangliang can't stand having Jigong around. He needs the humiliation to be quick, total. It shores up his own power. So finally, he just throws it out there. Can you raise 10,000 taels in 1 day?
Wow. And Jigong.
Jigong's response is brilliant. He doesn't play the game. He just says, if you can do it in 1 day, you go do it. I can't.
Perfect. So what do they finally agree on?
They land on 100 days. And Jigong accepts, but on his terms. He says he'll use the time not just for fundraising, but also helping people out in Linen, the city, and taking on lots of named disciples.
So the clock is ticking. 100 days for 10,000 taels. You'd think he'd be hitting up every rich merchant in town, right?
Yeah.
Networking, fundraising, dinners.
You would think.
Yeah.
But what does he actually do? He completely ignores the money side. He spends his time healing people, saving lives, acting, crazy and foolish like he does. He never lets on who he really is.
So his priority is still spiritual work, not finance.
Absolutely. People first, money. Well, seemingly not at all. There's this great example where he runs into two hunters.
Hunters, not exactly potential big donors.
Not at all. They're up on the hill behind Filai Peak, the Filai Fong Ho Shampo, rough guys. One is Chen Shao, nicknamed Beautiful Bearded Man. The other, his sworn brother Yang Meng, the sick tiger god. Tough characters.
And Jigong just talks to them.
He confronts them about hunting, hits them with this line of poetry. For you to sustain your life, their lives must end.
Oof. Powerful.
And it works instantly. They recognize him immediately as some kind of enlightened hermit, a high-ranking monk, and they swear off hunting right there. They decide to get jobs in a security escort agency, a biosing.
Wow. So he changes their lives just like that.
Just like that. He tells them they'll surely prosper. So you see the irony. He can command instant moral transformation, which is spiritually priceless.
But financially.
Financially, zero. The texts are really clear. More than a month goes by. Guangliang is practically tapping his foot, waiting for the deadline. And Jigong. He apparently pops back to the temple sometimes to, quote, eat wine and meat.
Of course he does.
But he has not collected a single tael of silver, not one.
Okay, so over a third of the time is gone, and he's made literally zero progress on the money. If anything, he's probably racking up a tab at the temple kitchen.
Pretty much. The pressure should be immense. But this is where things take another very Jigong turn.
I feel like this is where the chaos really starts.
Exactly. He finds the temple gatekeeper monk isn't at his post. So Jigong just wanders into the Weitu Hall. Weitu is this major guardian deity, protector of the monastery. Big statue.
It's impressive looking, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. The source describes him. Golden helmet, holding this big iron staff. Looks kind of like Granyan, actually. Majestic.
And Jigong.
Jigong admires the statue for a second, then apparently decides he needs company. He literally says to the statue, "Old way, come out and walk with me."
He talks to the statue.
And then he picks it up, hoists this massive statue onto his shoulder, and just strolls out carrying it along Westlake.
He steals the Weitu statue.
Borrows it, takes it for a walk. It's completely audacious, turning this sacred object into, street performance art.
What do people think? Seeing a monk carrying a giant god down the street.
They are stunned, totally shocked. They've seen monks begging before, maybe with chains or banging a wooden fish, but never carrying the actual deity.
Right. What does Jigong say?
He just dismisses them, tells them, "You don't have eyes. We are moving house." Like it's the most normal thing in the world.
Moving house. While he owes 10,000 taels. Okay.
But then something shifts. As he's walking, he sees this black mist rising up into the sky. A bad omen.
Ah, a spiritual sign.
Right. He immediately reacts, strikes the ground 3 times and says, "Goodness me, how can I ignore this? Duty calls, even if it's not fundraising duty."
So the statue and the money problems are put on hold.
Instantly. The spiritual crisis takes precedence. He follows the sign, and it leads him to a restaurant. The Drunken Immortal Building, Zui Xinlu.
Sounds like Jigong's kind of place.
Doesn't it? The sign even has couplets about the poet Li Bai getting drunk, writing poems, stuff like, "The universe is vast in drunkenness, the sun and moon are long in the pot, it's all about worldly pleasure."
Okay, so he walks in with the Weitu statue.
Well, he stops outside, the owner sees this raggedy monk carrying a god, and just assumes he's there to beg.
Makes sense, I guess.
The owner tells him, "Look, we only give donations to monks on the 1st and 15th of the month, come back then."
Standard policy, maybe. But Jigong.
Jigong immediately flips it. He starts blocking the door, telling potential customers, "Oh, sorry, they only sell food here on the 1st and 15th too. Come back later."
He didn't.
He did. He turns away 3 or 4 groups of customers. One guy was a grain shop manager trying to host a meal for guests. Jigong is literally driving away business.
It's aggressive fundraising. Or maybe anti-fundraising.
And it's pure disruption. The owner is furious, but also desperate. He finally just says, fine, come inside, just stop scaring away my customers."
So Jigong goes in.
He goes in, sits down, and proceeds to order and eat several dishes and drinks 4 or 5 pots of wine.
Running up a tab he definitely can't pay.
Exactly. The bill comes, it's 1,680 cash.
Wow.
Yidiao Liu, Jibashi Wen, not a small amount for a meal back then.
And Jigong
naturally asks to put it on account. Write it down, Shezong.
Oh, the manager must have loved that.
Not really. The manager's livid. He's like, are you kidding me? You drove away all my business and now you want credit? He demands payment right now.
So we've got Jigong, zero tails raised, a huge new debt at a restaurant, the Wei Tu statue parked outside. What happens?
Well, just as Jigong and the waiter are arguing about the bill, suddenly there's this huge noise outside, like thunder. And two figures appear, described as heroes, and they look like they're heading straight for the restaurant to cause trouble.
More chaos. It just keeps escalating.
It really does. We end right there. An impossible debt, a stolen god, an argument, and now potential violence walking in the door.